Good morning all, Kosala here, also known as Marventus, bringing you yet another shoutcast from my crazy views on Starcraft noobdom. But yes, it is another spectacular winter morning here in the UK. I was about to say the sun is shining, but of course it's not. It's not. The sun is not shining at all. This is England. What was I thinking? Right, the snow is falling and it's a little grey, but it's still a lovely morning to wake up to, actually. Right, and we're doing something different today. If you've been following my my casts on my channel, you'll know that I tend to focus on tutorial or learning-based experiences that come from my own first-person sort of perspective. And while I was discussing Starcraft strategies on the Blizzard forums, a guy called Yellowfire contacted me, and we started talking. And he actually sent me one of his replays to cast on the channel. And entirely from a tutorial perspective, so staying within my overall framework, but now casting in the third person, and to show you how this matchup goes. So let's see who we're dealing with. Here in the bottom right, the red Terran is Camille, and in the top right we have Yellowfire, who sent me this replay as the blue Zerg. Is that purple? It could be purple, but I think it's blue. So let's say blue. So let's see how we're doing here. The game has just begun. At 9 supply we have a spawning pool going up for Yellowfire and an overlord coming in to scout. Over here we have the red Terran about to now launch into his barracks. Supply depot up. I'm going to put this up to 4 times speed, as it's always a 25-minute game. I'd like to keep it within my normal 15-minute limit. Let's see what Camille is up to here. We have a second barracks going up, so this is starting to look like an early Marine Marauder possible push. Let's see, no tech lab yet, no reactor. And what have we got here? So we have our second gas going up as well. This is pretty early in the game, and we're 3.5 minutes into the game. He's got two what is it called, gases up. We have 2 barracks up, a third one on the way, and we have a tech lab going up here. Definitely looking like a Marine Marauder start. Let's see how our friend Yellowfire is doing. He's got his queen up. He's got a spawning pool, we already saw that. We have 1 gas up, and we have the first bunch of Zerglings now starting to come out. Always a good plan, just toss out a few Zerglings in the beginning, because you never really know what your opponent is going to be up to or sending your way. And Terrans do like to do an initial Marine Marauder foray just to see if they can get away with it. Right, so a good start. Let's get these Zerglings out. Creep is spreading, wonderful. If you've seen my previous cast, you'll know the importance I place on creep. And let's slow this down a little bit and see what's going on here. We have Yellowfire now starting to scout out his opponent. He's running around. Let's get our production tab up here. We have yet another barracks coming out for our Terran buddy Camille, who's warded off the front, as one absolutely has to do against Zerg opponents, because otherwise this will happen, and they will rush in, and they will knock out your mineral line. But while Camille has been warding off his front door, he's totally forgotten to ward off his back door. And oh my goodness, the Zerglings are in. Look at this. It's almost a command group and a row's worth of Zerglings. This is going to be a tragedy. Things are dying. The mineral line is abused. Marines are dead. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Terrans, wall off the entrances to your base when you're up against the Zerg, because we swarm. That's what we do. It is what we do. Oh my goodness. An initial foray of great success here for Camille. But notice that almost an entire command group's worth of Zerg actually got wiped out here. Now let's take a look at what we got here. We are now down to barely a row of SCVs for Camille. Oh my goodness, the level of destruction. Right, yep, he needs to start all over again. There's 2 Marines standing, a couple more coming out now. And now that initial foray is over, we have Yellowfire settling in for the long haul. He's done the damage he wanted to do, which is mess with the mineral line. There's no reason to continue doing that now, because the wall off is bound to happen. As we see here, Camille is getting his stuff in order. And the advantage that Yellowfire has gained now needs to be pushed in the way of economy. So let's see what happens now over the next few minutes. Creep spreading properly. A new batch of Zerglings coming out as defense in case there's a retributionary foray from our Terrans. We have 3 spine crawls in front of the base. This is a good sign. This is a good sign. Well, you do need to set up some base defense early on as Zerg. It is important. You don't need to go nuts about it, but 2 or 3 spine crawls at the front of your base will really do a vast amount of good. As Yellowfire is showing us here. What do we got here? We have a Hydralisk den coming up as well. To be honest, the jury is out for me on the Hydralisks. I hardly ever use them. I think they're an awesome unit. People tell me they're an awesome unit, but you know, in the games that I've played, I've actually hardly ever used Hydralisk. I do tend to prefer the Roach Corruptor to Roach Broodlord transition in a game if it goes in the long run. So I do put up Mutalisks very rarely. I'll slow this down a little bit. Put up Mutalisks quite rarely, and I put up Hydralisks very rarely. But we have Yellowfire here getting a Hydralisk den. We have a huge amount of Overlords popping out here in order to avoid getting supply blocked. So I'm guessing that we're going to see some sort of mass army foray from our friend Yellowfire. At 46 supply, we have the second base going out quite far away. Now this is interesting. Zerg do need to fast expand. We know this. Right, we need to have 2 bases for every base that the opponent has. Why do we need this? Because of lava and because of the massive necessity for gas. Right, Zerg units are very, very gas heavy, and we need the second base in order to start the gas mining, because otherwise we will not keep up. As you can see right here, gas is dwindling on the single base 2 gas version. Now in the meantime, our Terran opponents also fast expanded. Good move there. Keeping the economy flowing. We have a nice mass of Marines built for him. You know, Marines are fantastic units. They just do colossal amounts of damage. They're utterly amazing units. And here we have a second scouting foray happening by Yellowfire. Very good to do this. You have to get your secondary scouting to see what the hell's going on. You notice that Camille has not spent money on turrets because of the fact that that he was initially violated by Zerg. And once again, Yellowfire doing an outstanding job of making a complete and utter mess out of the mineral line. Alright, so the Terran massively handicapped at this point, mining off just 1 mule. Let's take a look at the income tab. We have the Zerg is almost 6, 7 times ahead of the Terran economy at 24 to 3 harvesters. I mean, this is outstanding. There is no coming back from that. You simply can't fall that far behind, because your opponent will wind up massing huge amounts of armies that you'll never be able to keep up with. So how is Camille responding? Right, he's putting up an engineering bay. Let's see what he plans to do with that. He has yet another barracks. Now we're a 4 racks build, so he's already completely committed to Marines and more orders as well. There is a tech lab up there. Let's go back to the production tab here. Let's see what's going on here. We have some SCVs coming out for Camille. We have upgrades coming out for Yellowfire. Now, if you've seen my previous cast, you'll know that I can't say enough good things about upgrades. Upgrades are simply absolutely essential. Right, and having a couple of upgrades will do all the good in the world for you as a Zerg opponent, because generally you will be playing with slightly lesser units than your opponent in the early stages of the game. And again, this constant harassment of the mineral line doing wonderful work. One turret up now for Camille, but oh so much in the wrong place. He should have gotten that turret right here in the middle of the mineral line. Instead, we have the situation we've got right here, and Yellowfire continuing to mop up, continuing to harass the income and the mineral lines of the Terran opponent, doing massive amounts of damage, about to lose his command center here. This is a huge blow. A huge blow! 400 minerals going down the proverbial toilet right here. Yellowfire doing an excellent job of being a Zerg. Harass, guerrilla tactic attacks, while amassing the army that's coming in for the kill. So let's see what we've got here. We have Zerglings, 1 command group. We have Hydralisks, a couple, and let's see any more on the way. We have Mutalisks on the way. Yes, it's a mass Mutalisk build that Yellowfire is going for here. It's highly expensive. I've seen lots of Zerg do this. I'm not a huge fan of the mass Mutalisk myself because it's whoppingly expensive. I mean, a muta costs 100 gold and 100 gas. But considering the economy that that Yellowfire has got going, that's not really a huge problem for him at this time. Doing a little poorly here on the saturation on the second base, but more drones coming out, 3 more overloads coming out, more flyer upgrades happening. Looking good here, very solid. It's unlikely that our Terran opponent is going to be bouncing back from here, because he is now limited to 1 base against the Zerg 2 base push, and Mutalisk being amassed that he has absolutely no counter for, because there is no starport and no money to create one. He is completely stuck. Basically he can sit around in his base and wait to die. There's not much more to do here. And here comes another wave of Mutalisk harassment. There is only 1 turret, it's in the wrong place. What can we do? Now I would probably have taken out that turret with this many Mutalisks as well. See how much the Marines are doing quite a large amount of damage. They are coming in to try to sort this out. We have the command center lifting. Is it gonna go down? Oh my goodness, the suspense. It's down to two bars, 1 bar, and it's over. The main command center goes down for the Terran under the relentless attack of the Mutalisk Yellowfire. Oh, there's another one going up here. Not bad at all. Camille trying to stay in it. He is fighting valiantly. He has got another command center going up here. Let's take a look at the income tab. 0 income for our Terran. Not a single piece of mineral or gold being mined. Only 4 harvesters. It is the beginning of the end. Tragedy is striking. Right, Yellowfire doing exactly what it's supposed to do, not taking the win for granted, keeping his expansion flowing, preparing for 3rd base here. This is looking good, this is looking good. Let's see what we got in the way of armies. We're still down to just the 2 Hydralisks. It appears that Yellowfire is going for a fully committed Mutalisk build. He's got another, let's see how much this is. This is just 5 Mutalisks coming in, taking out this command center as well. This is not looking good for our Terran opponent, not looking good at all. In come the Marines, trying to save it, do manage to scare him off. My 12-minute timer just went off here, so I'm going to speed this up just a little bit to see where we are towards the end game here. What we have even more Mutalisks joining in the foray. It seems to be Mutalisks all the way. Here we go, Mutalisk coming in, attacking the Marines. How's this going to end? You notice that Marines are very, very strong. A pack of Marines can actually do a serious amount of damage. These are not to be underestimated. Always be careful when there's a large amount of Marines gathering. But as you can see, little by little, Yellowfire is whittling down this army. You know, there used to be a huge pack of Marines. Now with no money, hardly any resource gathering, up against what's going to be soon 3 bases, it's pretty much GG at this point. There is no way to come back from this. So thank you to Yellowfire for showing us what some good Mutalisk harassment can do in the way of assisting you. And notice the focus on the mineral line early on. He didn't run around the place all over the base. He concentrated on the mineral line. Absolutely important thing to do, and the Terran had no coming back from that. Thank you for watching all, and if any of you have got these tutorial style games that you'd like me to cast, do send them to me. I'll have my email address later on here. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.